The people in this community are proud of who they are. We have small-time ranchers. We have people that still log or work in the forest, and they make their money from hauling wood and selling wood. Some of them have been very successful. Some of them have gone to be lawyers and doctors and veterinarians and things like that. And they're very proud of where they come from. And I think that's nice because that rubs off on their children.
Living in a small community is kind of like your family, because I know in my community most of it is my family, and you get to see your family pretty much a lot.
If you need anything, you can go to your families and they'll be there for you.
When you drive down the road and everybody waves, it's a good feeling that you know everybody knows you, and I'm all about the relationships anyway.
And we might not like everybody, but everybody still knows everybody by name.
Over here, it's such a small school. I have so many cousins here, and I know everyone personally. I wouldn't say everyone, but most everyone, personally. You know about everybody's life, and I think we all just, are connected through that way.
Then, you can get really close with some people and stuff, and, those can be friends for a lifetime.
I like it because it's small, and I get to see most of the people that I live around. I get to go visit, people, from out of state. They come to visit, and then they go home, and I get to spend time with them.
They're all willing to help out one another, or in a time of need, they're always there to support them.
A ranch full of cows and horses, so I've always liked going outside, running around, being educated about the simple life.
It isn't so much that we eat beans and tortillas and we make bread in the outdoor ovens, and there's wonderful pie with a supreme crust and bizcochitos and all these things, and that you go to a wedding, even in Utah, and your own relatives still have to have la marcha when the couple comes in. And then after that, there's punk rock. And it's this is dynamic living. This is culture growing and changing and becoming.
Well, I live in Abiquiu, so over there it's kind of a positivity thing because not much negativity is there. Kind of a small town that kind of religious. When we go to church, seeing each other and just talking, it feels good because that's almost a whole town there. And it's nice to have a town behind you to support you.
Care that they get up and go to church. They don't just let them sleep in. Some of the parents still believe that it's okay to make their kids have chores. It's okay to make them be responsible for things that they do or don't do.
I've been to schools where the kids have to be checked with metal detectors, and you can't wear certain colors because of gangs, and you can't leave them alone for a minute. I can walk out and go to the restroom, and I know these kids are going to be fine, and I know that these kids are going to do their work, and these young people are going to be successful. There's a good core of students here, and they care about each other.
Two or three restaurants in one town, one in another. We used to have gas stations. They closed down. Why? Because of the not enough money, the revenue to keep up the businesses. We have Mineral Springs. It provides some jobs, but it's pretty much a minimum wage.
A lot of difficulties that people face in this community would be drug or alcohol abuse.
Everybody's kind of spread out, and nobody really lives really close to each other. So it's hard to hang out with your friends outside of school.
I live 6 miles away from anybody in the middle of nowhere. So it's kind of just on the weekends, feel kind of isolated here. I go home after practice and I don't have internet or service there.
I live farther away, so
to get to the bus, I need to have a working car, and or drive to school. Some days I drive, some days I ride the bus, but it's just far distance either way.
Well, where were you coming from?
Far away.
Like, how far would you say?
Like 45 minutes away from the school.
That's kind of far.
If you want to go grocery shopping or something like that, you would have to drive 20, 30 miles. And I guess there's no internet. I don't have internet or TV or anything like that. So in order to do homework and I need internet, I have to drive somewhere to get internet.
So like not being able to like be open about who you are, because some people are really judgmental and stuff. So like it's hard for people to like come out and like express how they feel or like be who they are.
Everybody knows your business. Everybody knows what you're going to do. Everybody knows what you've said. Everybody knows everything about you.
Kind of tough because in small communities, there's drama. In drama comes a bunch of stuff.
But a lot of rumors get passed around and people just say stuff.
People feel like if they're any different than other people, then they'll be looked at different.
If there's a conflict, it's hard because everyone knows everyone, so they'll probably choose sides, and then it creates more conflict.
Gossip. I'm not going to go around going, hey, we should not gossip and all those things. It is the life force of the community. It is the tell a northern New Mexican and you tell everyone. At least they're talking. At least they're communicating one with another.
There's sometimes some misunderstandings, but as a community or with those involved, you learn through experience, and because we were brought up with respect, that you approach one another and as adults and speak out the problem or talk it out instead of, just flying off the handle.
There was times when I would take kids on trips and they wouldn't be viewed as favorably as other students just because they came from small communities, Hispanic background type thing. New Mexico is cut into 4 sections, and actually I say there's a 5th section. And this part here, northern New Mexico, north central New Mexico, we do things very traditional. We have our ways, and the ways that we can be tight, we can pull together. We do things different from each other part.
There's something about living in close proximity to a great-great-grandmother's home. It was built in the early 1800s. Even though they might not quite understand that is a historical reality, but that rootedness of that building, that rootedness of that land that harvested, which we don't do anymore, harvested the corn that fed our ancestors. Something about walking on that land is still vibrant. But this is Puebloan land. Right across from here, I can look and I can see Humpovi across the river, an extinct village of the Tewas. And then right at junction 111, I see Humwidi. It's like these are the Pueblos. This is where the people were planting.
I really like the culture around here. Some places like Santa Fe, they're kind of losing the culture. It's like getting just business-wise, and over here we get to keep like our old traditional cultures and our language.
We are losing that culture, even though that we do teach it in school. As time goes on, a lot of the kids are grown, they're raised by their grandparents, and the grandparents are the ones that teach them Spanish, but then their parents aren't fluent in Spanish. I've learned that a lot of the students understand Spanish if someone talks to them, but they can't speak it back.
It's okay to be proud of how you grow up. So what if you eat chicharrón burritos? Everybody else does now. Everybody likes them. It's just that you had a head start on it.
that this is not a stagnant, I'm in this culture, I'm in this tradition or whatever, but it is, let's move it. Let's continuously move it. Let's dance with it.
We bring them and we show them our cultures and show them how, when we were brought up, that the culture stuck with us, and also that not to be embarrassed of the heritage. I mean, a lot of people nowadays want to put things behind them. They're embarrassed of their cultures, that it's not in the hip or what's going on now. So, so they kind of put it to the side, but, we bring it and try to instill it into people that, these cultures that we grew up with are part of our life. Don't be embarrassed of where you came from and your cultural affairs. I mean, just be proud of who you are.
Yep, I agree.
My motivation is to make my mom happy, proud.
I have a very good support system at home. Like, my dad is very involved with my school and with my sports, and he's been able to guide me. So it's never been a doubt in my mind that I would never go to college. I've always grown up with the notion that I'm going to go to college.
I wanted to go into culinary school to be a personal chef. But recently that's been changing and I wanted to be a psychologist because I love talking to people. I love learning more about people and problems. I think I could really help with problems that they have, social problems, be a family counselor, school guidance counselor.
This education is the foundation to my college education, and then that'll lead me to my career.
I want to get educated so I can go on to college to study engineering and hopefully get a job somewhere like a corporation.
I plan to go to college and get a nursing degree or go even higher for a doctorate.
I'd probably want to go to UNM and study sports medicine or something.
Extracurricular activities have really depleted, and the main thing that we have here is like FFA or sports, and that's what people look forward to.
They sometimes struggle with getting their kids to school. Shortage of bus drivers. So we lost one bus driver last year.
This is the second term that I've been on the board. I noticed the school enrollment has gone down.
It's so small that we don't get a lot of funding, and it's just really hard. We're barely getting a new elementary.
I think like more AP classes, I guess, like something like honor classes, stuff like that, to help us get prepared for college.
We don't get as much time with our teachers as we'd like because we only have 4 days of school. And I think it's important for us to have enough time with the subjects that we actually need and the subjects that we need to pass during tests, like math, science, and English.
Like, as far as when you go out in the real world and you have to pay your taxes and you have to pay for your college classes and how college classes works and how scholarships work, and our high school doesn't really offer that. There was a teacher that was here last year. She retired, but she was an English teacher and the computer teacher, and she was the one trying to help the seniors with scholarships and stuff, and that was in her job description. She didn't have to do that. She just went out of her way to do it, to help.
We don't have time in a day to meet that need as far as filling out scholarships and things like that for them. So I really wish there was some way that we could maybe generate a facility or get somebody to come in on a weekly basis to help the seniors fill out applications.
If you need more money, they have to do a lot of research on finding scholarships. And we're real tech savvy, but there's some parents at home that aren't. So it would be useful maybe to have a parent night where maybe the counselor or some teachers from the school would help these parents.
The dream job that I have, you have to do a lot of stuff on the computer, and I have no clue what to do. as of right now.
Not all families are like well off. Not all of them have two incomes coming in. So I guess it could be hard to balance like life and being able to come to school and stuff. Like if your parents don't have a job, then it'd be hard to get to school if you didn't have a bus ride.
I need to get a job, like a good paying job, so I can get money to pay for those courses.
They don't make a lot of money to end up sending their children to a nice college. You know, and if you got to college, it's expensive. You have your tuition, your books, and then possibly your room and board, plus you have to look at transportation and, I mean, money to eat.
And be in debt for the rest of my life with student loans.
They want us to go to college. You need to start making money because you can't rely on your parents. So you need to start making money on your own to be an adult. It's kind of hard to do that if you live here in the middle of nowhere, kind of. Basically, this town is just a road. There's about one place to work at where everybody works, and it's not really a high-paying job, I don't think. So I think the opportunities, you have to go to the next town over, Espanola or Taos, and still kind of like not a lot of opportunities.
We don't have jobs here. You know, the jobs that are here are usually taken by someone in their middle ages, you know, that has stuck around. But I don't think that shouldn't be a factor. That's not an excuse.
I mean, I know it is hard to find employment or opportunities in this small community, but even if you do have to go step by step to try to climb that ladder, I mean, don't give up. You got to just to give it 100% all the time.
And then you have the Pell Grants. I mean, a lot of kids end up just applying for financial aid, and they're able to get 100%, and that's how they end up going to school.
Like teachers that care more, I guess, in a way, because the more they connect with students, the students are more eager to learn.
She honestly really cares about us. She wants to see us do good, and she wants to see us go to college, and she wants to see us strive as individuals.
Some of the teachers here are really good with that. They try to help you through, but some just like, if you fail, you fail.
Small district, the teachers can focus more on kids individually.
I listen to them, and you know, I show that I'm human too, and it helps when you do something like that, because then they think, oh, well, then we can talk to her and she'll listen to us.
If you show them respect and show them that you're interested in anything that they're doing, it kind of engages the student to push a little harder to do their work. I mean, to show them that yes, the teachers care about what they're doing, and basically to show them that even though they do make mistakes, they're still proud of them and they want them to continue their education.
I appreciate the fact that parents will come sometimes and say, well, you know, if you're having trouble, I want to know exactly what happened. All I got to do is call, and a parent will give me a phone call back, and we'll talk about it. And there's just sometimes when I don't have to do that. But I know there's a lot of parents, or a lot of teachers in our district that make a lot of phone calls home and talk to the parents a lot. Somewhere, somehow, the parents get involved, you know, even if you meet them on the side of the road or at Walmart or whatever, they'll, you know, you kind of lead into that conversation, or when they show up for parent night.
I believe in that saying that it takes a community to raise a family. I believe in that.
If we invite a family that's having hardship from another community, we can invite them over to the house and, you know, have dinner and basically talk about the problems, see if we can help them out or lend a hand in any way.
The community trusts each other, so if they're not getting it at home, they get it from somebody. If it's not at school, or it could be a neighbor. So we trust each other, and we trust each other that if our kids are doing something that's not safe, somebody's going to let us know, which we appreciate. And it helps to have some community functions for all the families to come. So you build the relationship not only with the kids, but with their parents and grandparents and other extended family.
They want to know how I am. They want to know how's school. They are really active and they push me a lot. But I'd also like to see them get active with other things. Like, I know they're very active with me and my extracurricular activities. I'd like to see them get active with like the school board, because I know we have problems with our school board, and I'd like to see some things change.
The kids in my community aren't really that active, so lately we haven't had any activity in our community.
Now, some kids, they don't like it here. They want to live in the city, and I'm all for it. You know, that's their life. You know, that if that's their dream that they want to go live in the city, then go do it. But within time, I've noticed a lot of people, a lot of my friends, family have moved to the city. They tried it for a good number of years, and they come back, they buy a piece of property because they want peace and quiet. Me as a parent, I mean, I influence my kids to get the best education so they can actually leave this community and actually go into, not tour the world, but see the world, get a better education so that they could come back, and whether or not they become their own business owner or something, that they could come back and bring back to the community, and also bring something back to the school district in regards to jobs.
And if kids do want to leave, it's okay. So if our daughter doesn't want to remain here and she wants to go to the big city, we're in agreement with it. And if she wants to remain, we're in agreement with it also. I mean, even better for us. But if she makes her choice to leave here, she'll always have a home whenever she wants to come back.